Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue Political Science, Chapter 2nd. What is democracy? Why democracy? In the previous video, you have understood the meaning of democracy. We were discussing about the features of democracy. The first one, the decision making by the elected leaders. So now, let us move on second point.
Free and fair electoral competition. Generally, in a democracy, it is not possible for all the people to govern directly. Instead, they govern through their representatives whom they elect. Elections are thus the most important feature of any democracy. Case of China. We will now closely examine the electoral process in the communist state of China to understand how it is different from elections in democratic countries. In China, elections to the Chinese parliament, also called the National People's Congress or NPC, are held once in every 5 years. Candidates contesting in the election should get the approval of the Chinese Communist Party. Thus, the NPC consists of about 3,000 elected members who meet once in a year. It has the power to appoint the president, vice president, the premier, and all the high officials of the country. The National People's Congress is the highest organ of the state power in China. Its major functions are to amend the state constitution and enact laws for the country. The NPC functions through a permanent body called the Standing Committee. The Standing Committee has the power to enact and amend laws with the exception of those which should be enacted by the NPC. Thus, the Standing Committee has all the legislative powers of the country. The leaders of the NPC Standing Committee are influential members of CCP or the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese government is always formed by the CCP. Students, we will now answer the following question. In a democracy, leaders derive their power from the people who elect the leaders of the country, the constitution of the country, the representatives who are elected by the people of the country, the judicial system of the country. Case of Mexico. Let us now take a close look at the state of affairs in Mexico to understand the flaws in the democratic system in that country. Mexico is located in North America. The country holds elections every 6 years to elect the president. Until 2000, every election was won by Institutional Revolutionary Party or the PRI. Simultaneously, the opposition parties were allowed to function, but they never managed to win the elections. Clearly, the PRI had won elections through the twin means of fraud and force. Party meetings were made compulsory for government employees. Simultaneously, government school teachers motivated parents to vote only for the PRI. Even the media was not independent and it ignored the activities of opposition parties and even criticized them.